Alrighty, guys, it's time for an update on Jack. It's been a while since I did the last video with him. You'll have just seen like a grooming one with him, and then apart from the first one where we did all the prep work with the circles and trying to do some raised cavaletti and poles, there haven't been too many other videos that I've posted of him yet. So let's do a quick update. So in this session, I wanted to kind of just challenge his mind a little bit and get him thinking a little more on me. He definitely gets a little bit distracted. Whiskey is down with his group of mares, and you will see that later on. But to start with, all I wanted to do was just a simple figure eight, get him going around the cones, kind of being in a figure eight, and you'll see he gets a little sticky, and that's just something that we have to keep working on. I knew he was probably going to be that way, just because in 2022, when I had done weaves with him, he was sticky with it. So we work on it for a bit, and then he slowly does get better. After we've done a little bit of warm up with the figure eight pattern, I moved down here where I had 3 sets of poles just kind of lined out so I could either send him over the poles or we could go in between the poles. And you're going to see like sometimes I go over the poles with him and then sometimes we do in between the poles. It just depends on where we're at as far as what's happening. Sometimes I felt like he needed to do over him and sometimes going between them. And you'll see he gets a little unresponsive at times, kind of looking out right there. And that is because Whiskey is there. He's distracted, but I'm just, trying to make the best of the situation. So you see right there in the background, there is Whiskey. He's there. It is a distraction, but it's something that we have to work through because at the end of the day, I do need Jack to focus on me. And yes, I do take into consideration that he is a young horse, so I don't get too upset and offended when he does, get a little bit distracted. And you'll see here, at the start of the session, he was really just not very focused, and he's starting to look better and better as it goes on. So we still have moments where he's a little tense, not really, listening to what I'm saying, what I'm wanting. There, he kind of picks up the canter a little bit, which is fantastic. If he wants to pick the lope up, considering last time we really struggled with, maintaining any bit of a circle, then this is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and just let him do it. So Whiskey's still down here. He does eventually leave, and Jack gets more and more focused on me, which is fantastic. The session improved throughout it. So once we did a little bit of warm up on these, I wanted to have him nice and warmed up so that when I started jumping him over just a small, simple jump, it's maybe a foot and a half high, that he was ready for. So the first time he goes for it, you can see he kind of ducks out and goes, no, I'm good. Then we just, I just stay persistent, stay calm with it. There, he just jumps the very end of it and goes over, which is fine. I don't need perfection. Like, training isn't perfection. So if he wants to miss something occasionally, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to get upset or offended by him not coming out here, not being perfect just because, I was going to film something. I don't need my sessions to go perfect. Your days with horses, they don't go perfect all the time. And today is, a prime example of it. Like, he's still a little bit distracted, but I just keep working with him on it and keep myself focused on what my plan was. Right there, he, that's part of where the focus, not being fully focused, comes into play. He kind of almost just tripped a little bit over there, which is great. That's part of why I moved on to doing the small jump over here was so that he had to pick his feet up more. We started with the figure eight, then I went to the 3 poles on the ground, and then I brought him up to do the small jump, which was perfect. It got him thinking more, and, not a perfect session, but he did improve and he did start to focus and learn, and we did make progress. It's not always going to be perfect. And this is just a prime example of it. Like, here he goes over this side. I really thought he did really well here, on this side going this way. Still a little distracted, but he's not as bad as he was the first time. Like, if you'll notice when I first started, I had to use my stick a lot to kind of really emphasize where I was going with him. So after he knocked this down, I was just kind of done with setting it back up. And I was like, you know what? You want to knock it? That's fine. Knock it. We're still going to just keep going with the pattern because that's not an excuse to get out of work. And here, for the first time, he's maintaining this lovely canter. Like, absolutely phenomenal. He hadn't been doing that before. So I was like, you know what? That is perfect. It was nice. It was relaxed. It was smooth. And we ended the session.